I'm Janeen Wright. I'm editor of Greenhouse Grower Magazine, and I'm here for another Shop Talk video with our executive editor of the U.S. Horticulture Group, Richard Jones. He recently went to the Canadian Greenhouse Conference, so I wanted to just get with him and kind of get the download on some of the stuff you saw and kind of what your thoughts were having come back from that.
Sure. We try to travel a lot for Greenhouse Grower, and one of the things, in a lot of the shows we go to, but especially this one, I came back and just was really taken by some of the advances that are happening and continuing to happen in technology for the greenhouse. We see a lot of stuff that we think technology as being the real high-tech stuff, the electronic, data-driven equipment and robotics, but it's not all like that. There are a lot of technology tools that just regular greenhouse growers of any size can use. Things that we're not used to seeing in the greenhouse, things like biostimulants, which we've been seeing in the fruit and veg markets for several years now, out in the field and the orchard. But we're starting to see how biostimulants could be used in greenhouse production. Things like biocontrol, which have been established, especially in Canada, for a while, but the tools just keep getting better, and we keep getting better understanding of how to incorporate them into production. Stuff like lighting. Not just LEDs, but it's a lot of stuff happening with LEDs where we're really starting to see some of the benefits of playing with different light spectrums and lighting regimens that can really impact the crop and the crop quality, crop output, all the way up to you to get into things like robotics and automation and machine learning, and even what some people are looking at as artificial intelligence. I was at a show a couple of years ago where one of the speakers, I think he was trying to be a little provocative at the time, but he predicted that the greenhouse grower will be extinct in the greenhouse by 2025. And I told a lot of people that when I got back, just to kind of see what people thought, and everybody just kind of laughed and said, yeah, that's never going to happen. But I know that you've seen some things along those lines that are already happening.
Yeah, it's interesting. Green Tech this year, they talked about the Autonomous Greenhouse Challenge, which I know they talked about at the Canadian Greenhouse Conference. And they finished that first one, which was growing the cucumbers. Team Simona ran that, which was a Microsoft team, I believe.
Right.
I thought it was fascinating because they said that team, none of them had really grown a cucumber before, and they won that challenge. And now they're working on their own greenhouse, autonomous greenhouse. I know it's just about ready, maybe not, to at least roll out, which is kind of interesting. And they've started they just narrowed down the teams for the second challenge now. To start that one for growing tomatoes, and it's all automated, all remote growing. It's a very fascinating project to just see where we're at with AI and what we can do with it.
I think in that first challenge, the Microsoft team had 17% more profit for their cucumber crop than a team of actual live growers. So it's amazing to see what's happening.
So they competed with the Dutch growers. So, and I thought it was interesting that they're saying with this autonomous thing is it's not necessarily to replace the grower, but just to see where we're at with it, what we can do with it, and how much involvement that grower will have in the future. Maybe they can run more greenhouses than they ever could before. They don't know, but it's a great way to find out.
I think it's a lot of ways the future is going to be machine learning and just how that works with the grower's knowledge, how those two can play off each other and really take things to the next level much more quickly.
Yeah. I think the interesting thing about it too is even though they're doing this with vegetables, the AI technology, some of those robotics, they go across all greenhouse controlled environment markets. And I think, we saw that at Green Tech. I think you guys kind of saw it at Canadian Greenhouse, where we're starting to get these, it's not just the ornamental focus that we are kind of, laser focused on here in the U.S. We're starting to see other markets come into play, other markets kind of influence each other, and that technology going across all three of them and four of them. And
it's funny, we're here in the U.S. where floriculture just drives so much of the greenhouse market, but you just go across the lake there into Ontario in a place where greenhouse vegetables have been established for quite a while, and cannabis is now coming in as a major crop as well, and just seeing all the stuff that's happening, but seeing, again, how all those pieces can kind of fit together and how, while the crops are obviously different in a lot of ways, how similar the processes are. It's still growing plants and growing fruit in a lot of ways. So there's a lot of things that I think the different growers of the different crops are going to be able to learn from each other.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So it's an exciting time to be in controlled environment. greenhouse growing, and we've been thinking a lot about this whole how can these industries work together, and you'll be hearing more about that. So stay tuned for Shop Talk, and we hope you'll join us again.